The slides are visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now coming to the next slide, we have effect of vibration. So due to vibrations, what are the different effects or what are the different causes due to vibrations? You can see this vibrations. First of all, you will see the vibration in automobiles or in a train can cause discomfort to passenger. So most of you have gone through, I mean, train, and once you have seen many times jerking will be there are in trains, and also if you have gone through the bus, also many times jerking will be there. So that jerking is due to this many regions of jerking will be there. So once you will feel the jerk, you will get this oscillations type of things. Once oscillations will be there, then and you will have certain vibrations. That vibrations, and so you can that vibrations you can feel also while traveling with automobiles. Also, if you see in turbines or heavy machinery, vibration cause mechanical failure. As I have already discussed these things, in heavy machinery, vibrations, once vibrations will arise, there will be many problems will arise once vibrations will be there. That may be due to loosening of mechanical components or mechanical parts. Once the parts or the spring bolts and all these things will get loose, and these vibrations will cause. Once vibration will cause in this kind of heavy machinery, then there will be many failures, mechanical failures, and due to this failure lots of losses will be there, so which will be very difficult to bear these losses. So we will try to avoid all these vibrations or all these losses due to vibrations, right? So if you see the other structures designed to support heavy centrifugal machines like motors, turbines, or reciprocating machines like steam and gas engines and reciprocating pumps are also subjected to vibrations. So wherever you will go, if you have certain mechanical joints or mechanical machineries involved, so there will be a certain kind of vibrations arises. Yes, and that kind of vibrations will be generated due to variety of causes. So we'll see that what are the different cause of vibrations. We'll see one by one. So these are the effects due to this effect of vibrations. You can there are many mechanical failures are there. Just keep it in your mind that once vibrations will be there, then it will be very dangerous. And as soon as we will get these vibrations, we will try to stop these vibrations on using different region, different way procedures. That at procedures, or we can call it as remedies, that we can discuss here only, how to avoid these vibrations and all these things. So in structure of machine components subjected to vibration can fail due to material fatigue resulting from the cyclic variation of the induced stress. So once the stress will be induced, cyclic variations will be there. Once cyclic variations will be there, fatigue will arise. Once fatigue will arise, then your vibrations failure will be there. Okay, so we'll see that vibration failure also, how can we avoid all these things. You can see all these things. So moreover, our vibration cause more rapid wear, as we have already discussed, from machine parts such as bearings and gears also create excessive noise. So if we'll see all these regions, so all these effects of vibrations, once can we think of how to avoid these vibration losses. So we need to think how to remove these vibrations and effects, or how to do these remedies of mechanical vibrations. So let us see. So the other example of practical, if we'll see the practical example how this vibrations effect will be there. Suppose this bridge has been designed in according to its certain criteria, but it fails. It fails somewhere else here. It fails somewhere else here because it has achieved some external excitations, and that will be equal to your natural frequency or natural frequency, it as I have told you, once your resonance will arises, resonance means what? Your external force of excitations will be equal to the natural frequency of the vibrating body. So this bridge has some, initially this bridge has some natural frequency, and as this bridge has already achieved that external excitation, so once it will both the things will external excitation and your natural frequency will equal, then resonance will arise. Once resonance will arise, this bridge will get filled. That is what and we always try to avoid the resonance. So for what purpose we are calculating the natural frequency? That means natural frequency is the ultimate point through which we cannot exceed any other external frequency. That external frequency should not achieve that natural frequency of a body. Once it will achieve, or once it is equal or greater than the natural frequency of the body, then this kind of things will happen. So once this kind of things will happen, you can imagine if people are moving around here and there, or if people are passing through this bridge and this kind of collapses will be there, then how many life will get lost. So this is the importance of study of this vibration. So as a design engineer, these engineers are always playing a major role on this kind of safety purpose while designing all these things. So while designing, you have to take care of all these things so that this natural frequency, any external frequency should not achieve its natural frequency. You can see in the heavy machineries, as I have told you, in the turbine blades also, due to the wind energy, that is the, we can call is the wind energy as your external force. If that external force will increase to its natural frequency of this machinery, then obviously this kind of failures will be there. Once you can see in a dam or in a heavy power plant, once such kind of heavy machineries will get failed, the plant will get stopped for 1 day or 2 day, or to replace a new component, or 1 month, we don't know for how much time, and we'll have to take for replace the heavy component. So if a plant is going to shut down for 1 day, there is crores of loss will be there to the plant, to the specific plant or to the specific organization, right? So that is what, at one major failure will cause lots of losses to the in terms of money, in terms of life, all these things, right? So you will have to take care as this vibration in a serious way, so that in order to avoid all these failures, right? That is what, at sometimes this machine component will get due to this loosening of bolts and nuts, whatever it is there attached, as that due to that part also, this vibrations will arises, and once vibrations will achieve its critical condition, it will fail in this manner or in this manner. So I hope now you have got the importance of study of vibrations. Now let us see why to study vibration. As you have already seen, the vibration is on vibration. You must always remember all these things. Vibration is always an undesirable mechanical system. Vibration is always a undesirable. We don't want vibration in any kind of system, neither in our any systems. We don't want. Actually, you just remember, or you just think of vibration is a undesirable in any mechanical system. Whenever natural frequency vibration of a machine or structure coincides with the frequency of external excitation, resonance occurs, leading to excessive deflection and failures, right? That is what I always told you. Once resonance will arise, excessive deflections will be there. Due to this excessive deflections, failure will arises, which is just remove the causes of vibration at design stage. So the design stage, as a design engineer only, while we are designing this vibrating parts, components, we'll have to remove the different causes of vibration, so that it will be a good designer. Okay, For an existing machine or structure, reduce the effect of vibration by designing proper vibration mitigation strategies such as viscous damper, tuned mass damper and etc. All this. So we'll see these things after these slides, what exactly happened to the mechanical system of damper. So let us come to see what is the different classifications, and before this classification, I want to tell you one thing. How can we how can you reduce this vibration, or how can we eliminate this vibration, right? So how can you eliminate this vibration? So if you are writing, or if you have in pen and paper, you just write down vibration is an undesirable mechanical system, and we can avoid or reduce, or you can write down. Are you writing? Hello, anyone else is there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
so if you are writing, then write down the undesirable vibrations should be eliminated or reduced. Such undesirable vibrations should be eliminated or reduced up to certain extent by the following methods.
Yes.
By the following methods. First one, will be, so what are the different method if we'll see how to eliminate or reduce your vibrations. We can see by using, first one will be removing external excitation. Removing external excitation if possible. If possible,
Yes.
you can write here. You can see, you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Removing external excitation.
Sir, your voice is
Removing
little low,
external
sir.
excitation. Second one, using shock absorber. Third one, using
Sir, second one.
just see my screen. I am writing here. Can you able to see the word file?
No, sir. It is not visible.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Slides are visible.
Slides are visible
The
only.
slide is visible. Slides.
Okay, just
Slides are visible, sir.
okay, just see. Can you able to see word file?
No, no, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it
No,
is
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes,
Just
sir.
take it. First one will be your removing external excitation. Second one using shock absorber. Third one using dynamic absorber. Fourth one we will be resting the system on proper vibration. Proper vibration isolator. Okay. Right. So these are the few ways how you can avoid your vibration, or how you can eliminate or reduce the vibration up to certain extent. So how you can eliminate it or reduce? First one, either removing external excitation. I will let you know what is external excitation. External excitation means, suppose some external force is applying, and due to that vibrations will arise. So once we will remove that external force or external excitations, then your vibration may reduce up to certain extent. So that is one way of reducing your vibration, by removing external excitation. Second one will be using shock absorber. Shock absorber, in the last class I told you the example of bike. You have shock absorber in your bike, right? So using shock absorber also, you can imagine, if your shock absorber is not there and you are passing through a hump, what happened to how do you feel? If once in your bike shock absorber is not there, you can imagine, and on that way you can understand the importance of shock absorber in the role of avoiding the vibration, right? So in case of dynamic observer is also one kind of damper kind of thing. It can absorb the vibrations. So that the vibrations can be eliminated up to certain extent. So another one will be your resting the system on proper vibration isolator. What does this mean? Vibration isolator means, this vibration isolator means what? I think most of you have seen the UTM machine in your workshop, right?
Yes, sir.
That UTM machine is placed. Can you imagine that UTM machine is placed above a certain concrete?
Yes, sir. Foundation.
Certain foundation. That is called
Yeah.
that foundation is called as your vibration isolator. So in order to, when if you can imagine, when the machine will operate at to a certain RPM, that RPM will transmit to the grounds. Once it will, that RPM means what? That vibration. Due to that RPM, when the machine will be running, with that certain RPM, the vibrations will be there in that machine, and through that machine, that vibrations will be directly transmit to the ground, and the ground will break if we will not provide that foundation. So in order to avoid the direct transmission of vibrations from the machineries to the ground, we are giving some vibration isolator, that is in the form of concrete or some foundations, right? So these are the different ways of removing or eliminating up to a certain extent of the vibrations, right? So we can see, so now we'll see
Sir, what is dynamic absorber?
dynamic observer. You can imagine, in for example, I will give you, when you are operating the lathe machine. You are operating the lathe machine, you have seen
Yes.
that job will be fixed to one side, and you are rotating at some in the lathe, in the tail side, some rotating device is there, and in the head side your job is fixed, right?
Yes.
So while you are rotating that machine with a certain RPM,
Yes.
that rotation or deflection should be constant, or else it will vibrate in a very high frequency, and that vibrations you cannot able to control. That for controlling high speed rotating in machineries, you will have to use some dynamic absorber, so that it will absorb the vibrations. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Absorber means, you see, That is what it will. Absorber means it will absorb the uh, uh, it will absorb your all the rotationary movement and all these things. So I'll just give you just you can see. I'll tell you one thing. Just a minute. See, suppose this is what your lathe machine is all about. One part is here and another part, tail part is here, and some your key is here, and you are giving some your tool. Okay, tool is here. So this will obviously rotate with a high speed. So this will rotate with a high speed. Once it will rotate during that rotation, because it is connected with some motor. It is connected with some motor, and that motor will supply here, and it will rotate. This will rotate. Obviously, this chalk will rotate. This is fixed, right? Sorry, this one is fixed, and this will rotate, right? It will rotate, and due to that rotations, this may will get some vibration. So in order to avoid these vibrations, we need to what? Some dynamic absorber, so that it will absorb its deflections. It will not deflect, and it will be in a constant rotation, right?
You are not
So it will be in a constant rotation. Hello.
So your voice is very slow.
Hello. Now
Yes,
it is okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, due to network problem, it was slow. So, this dynamic conditions only, when to absorb all these vibrations, we are using that dynamic absorber, right? So you can see that that part. So now I think 4-5 different points you can note down. You have already note down that at the different ways of eliminating or reducing the vibrations, right? Now let us come to your next part. Classifications. So now you are able to see these slides, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have varieties, different types of classification of vibrations here, or you can see a first one we have categorized into pre-vibration, post-vibration, right? Just see, I will explain one by one. Okay, then you can categorize damped vibration, undamped vibrations, linear vibrations, non-linear vibrations, deterministic vibration, random vibrations, longitudinal vibration, transverse vibration, and torsional vibration. Okay, so many times in your external examinations, it will be asked to differentiate the difference between or differentiate between pre-vibration and post-vibration, or what is damped vibration, what is undamped vibration, what is linear vibration, what is non-linear vibration, or differentiate between deterministic and random vibrations, or what is the difference between longitudinal, transverse, and torsional vibration. Okay, so these are varieties of classification of vibrations. You can see one by one. For pre-vibrations, if you see, pre-vibrations means what? Just see. Pre-vibration means what? As suppose consider, or this is one, this part is one having a spring and one mass is attached here. See, so during initial stage, I have not giving any external force, so there will be no external force is giving to this body. Are you getting or not? So what happened? I have given a certain initial displacement to this body, and just leave it. That is called, and it will oscillate with its own frequency. because I have given some initial displacement and I have left it. I have left it. Okay, then it will oscillate with its own force. That is called free vibration. You are giving an initial displacement to a body and you left it, and whatever vibrations will be there, that is called as your free vibrations. Once you are giving some external force to the vibrations, continuously, suppose you are giving some external force to this body. That is what I told you. Suppose if you see, I am giving some external force, that is x1 to this body. Okay, that x1 is constant. Or it may vary. That is called forced vibration. Once your external force is there, then that is called forced vibration. Once there will be no external force, that is called as free vibration, right? So these free vibrations can be, you can differentiate by using, as I have already told you, any physical system can be converted into in mathematical terms. So how can you recognize this free vibration? Suppose I will write down this free vibration. Suppose I will write down one equation, mx double dot plus kx will be equal to 0. Okay, I'll tell you how I got this equation mx double dot plus kx, because this m is associated with accelerations and this k is associated with your potential difference, potential energy, that is x. Okay, so mx double dot plus kx will be equal to 0 is the standard equations for this free vibrations. Standard equation, why I am telling, in the right hand side, you can imagine this is always 0. This is always 0 in case of free vibrations. But in forced vibration, you can see the same equation as I was using some x1. So it will get some mx double dot, and double dot is for acceleration, mx double dot plus kx will be equal to f. F is what? F is the external force that is used. So in case of forced vibrations, wherever you will see such kind of equation, where on the right hand side there is a force term, that is external force, that is called as your forced vibration. Wherever you will see in your right hand side there is 0, that is called as your free vibration. 0 means there will be no external force is using here in this free vibration, but here where one external force is used, forced vibration, right? I hope you are getting this difference between free
Yes.
vibration and forced vibration.
Yes.
Now you can write down this difference. Actually, what exactly is this called? Free vibration. The vibration of a system because of its own elastic properties. No external exciting force acts in this case. Remember this thing. In free vibrations, there is no external exciting force acts in this case. A small disturbance, that is the initial displacement, a small disturbance of the system from its rest positions can be initiate the free vibration. The system vibrates with its own natural frequency, right? So you can give an example. Of free vibration, mx double dot plus kx will be equal to 0 in case of free vibration. But in case of forced vibration, the vibration which the system executes under an external force upon a repeating type of force, the frequency of vibration in this case is the same as that of excitation, right? So in case of forced vibrations, only what are the changes? Only the change will be, in place of 0 there will be some external force. Will be there in case of forced vibrations, right? Now you have written. Okay, anyhow you can go through it. the pre-vibration and post-vibration. Now we'll see damped vibrations. Now if we'll see damped vibration and undamped vibrations. Damped means what? As I have already told you, damped means when there is a damper is used in this system. Suppose consider a damper is used in the system. Okay, the spring is used here and one damper is used. Suppose if I will draw this diagram and consider this is the spring and one damper is used here, and then your mass will be attached here. Okay, one spring constant K and damper C and mass is used. Once your damper is used, then that is called damped vibrations. Once there will be no damper, there will be undamped vibrations, right? So either this free vibrations can be a damped vibrations. If damper is used and you are using no external force, then that kind of vibration is called as your free damped vibrations. If damper is used and no external force is used, only this body is vibrate with its own natural frequency, then this body is called as your free damped vibrations. Once in these systems your external force is used, then that system is called as your force damped vibration, right? If there will be no damper, then that is called as your free undamped vibrations, right? So in the first module or after this chapter, we are going to see undamped free vibrations. Okay, this is the as I have already told you, in this module we have 3 chapters. So in the first this is the first introduction chapter that we are studying now. Next chapter we are going to deal with undamped free vibrations, that is without damper. Whatever discussions will be there on that chapter, that will without damper. And in the next chapter we are going to see damped free vibrations, right? So in the third chapter of this first module we are going to see the damped free vibrations. So on that chapter, whatever discussions will be there, that discussion will be using a damper. So once a damper will be used, these equations will get changed. Because remember always mass is associated with acceleration. Okay, so this external force that you are using means you are giving some displacement. So displacement will be your x, right? You are giving external force means you are giving some initial displacement. And displacement is denoted as x. Then your damper is associated with velocity, that is x dot, right? Mass is associated with acceleration, that is x double dot, and damper is associated with velocity, and your k stiffness is associated with displacement. Remember these 3 things, and it will be always in this sequence only, x double dot. Okay, so as I have told you, free vibration case, mx double dot plus kx will be 0 in case of free vibrations, only undamped free vibration. This is the case for undamped free vibration, when there is undamped free vibration. If it is damped free vibrations, then this equation will turn into mx double dot plus what?
Cx dot.
Very good. Cx dot plus kx will be equal to 0, right? So this is what in GATE also I have seen. In GATE exam also the questions will be like this. In GATE exam also the questions will be like this. The two different four different equations was there. Option A, B, C, D. Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx will be equal to 0. Mx double dot plus Cx plus Kx dot will be equal to 0, and then you can change these equations, and it will ask you to indicate the proper damped free vibration equation. Now you can able to write Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx will be equal to 0 is the damped free vibration. If in the right hand side some force term will be associated, or it may be f sin omega t if it is a simple harmonic motion, f sin omega t. As I have already told you, simple harmonic motion can be represented as, or it can write x1 sin omega t, right. If some force term is associated on the right hand side of this equation, then that is called as your force vibration. If in this case also, one if I will add some Cx dot, then that is called damped forced vibration, right, or you can call forced damped vibration, right. So now I think you have sound idea about this free vibration, what is forced vibration, what is damped vibration, what is undamped vibration. Write down this damped vibration and non-damped vibrations now. Undamped vibrations, if no energy is lost or dissipated in friction or other resistance during oscillation, the vibration is known as undamped vibrations. No energy is lost means what? No energy is lost means what? If there will be damper, as I told you, if there is damper, this damping symbol is what? This is the damper symbol. Okay, wherever you will see such kind of symbol, you can consider it as a damper. If there will be damper, there will be the to and fro motions of this cylinder and piston, right. This is the cylinder, and this is
Sir,
the
here what is C, sir?
C is the damping coefficient. Okay, I'll tell you,
Sir.
because see, this whatever equations I have written, actually we will derive this equation. Don't worry about all these things. Just for the understanding of this, is just to differentiate between these terms, I have given this example. We will derive all these things, how this mx double dot, kx, cx dot has come. We will derive all these things. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So undamped vibrations and damped vibrations. So see, if this is the symbol, this cylinder is there and this piston is there, then once it will to and fro motions, there will be, if you can observe this part, obviously there will be friction developed at this part. Can you able to imagine?
Yes, sir.
If this will to and fro motions will be there, obviously in this surface part, there will be some friction. Once frictions will be there, then there will be some energy loss will be there.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If frictions will be there, then there will be energy loss. Once energy loss will be there, or then your resistance will get decreased, right. So that is what we mean to say is that in undamped vibration, there is, as no damper is used, no energy loss is there in undamped vibration. Are you getting or not? No energy is lost or dissipated in friction or other resistance during oscillation. The vibration is known as, that kind of vibration is known as undamped vibration, right. If energy is lost, if once damper is used, means there will be friction. Once frictions will be there, then there will be energy loss. Once energy loss will be there, if energy is lost in this way, it is called as damped vibration. Then that kind of system is called as your damped vibration. In many physical systems, the amount of damping is so small that it can be disregarded for most most engineering purposes. However, consideration of damping becomes extremely important in analyzing vibratory system near resonance. Right. So this damper, or when it will be used, then that is called as your damped vibrations. Once the damped vibrations will be there, then there will be some damping, and due to that damping, um, the frictional losses will be there, which is extremely we need to take care that damping part. Okay, we can reduce this coefficient damping coefficient. We need to have some critical damping. Okay, that we will see in the damped post vibration case. You can see all this. These are actually these are all I mean one separate chapter is there for all these things. So another term is there. If you see what is the third one? We have seen pre vibration and post vibration. We have seen damped vibration and undamped vibrations. Next one will be your linear vibration and non-linear vibration. Linear vibrations means what? Linear vibrations means what? Linear means what? As you have seen once, as you have seen in a graph, you have if the variations will be in a straight manner, then that is called as linear. If it is non-linear, means it will vibrate in a non-linear way, right? So if in a layman language, as you can see, linear means it would be straight. So linear vibrations means, suppose in this same example, I can say you, if this mass, if the moment of this mass is linear, or it will move in a linear way, in this manner. Either it will go in this way, or it will go in this way. If it is linear, this movement is the movement of the vibrating system is, if the movement of the vibrating system is linear, then that kind of vibration system is called as a linear vibration. If it is non-linear, means either this mass will move in this way, or in this way, or in this way. I don't know what kind of movement or what kind of directions it will move, and that is called as your non-linear vibrations. You can see the definitions. If all the basic components of vibrating system, the spring, the mass and damper, or behave linearly means behave either in particular direction, the resulting vibration is known as linear vibration, right? All the system means, in a vibrating system, mostly we are referred to or else you can say in vibrating system means we are referred to only spring, mass and damper. If all these things are behave linearly, then we can call it as a linear vibration. If however any of the basic component behave non-linearly, the vibration is called as non-linear vibration. The differential equation that govern the behavior of linear and non-linear vibratory system are linear and non-linear respectively. You can imagine and how these linear systems can be imagined, right? So if we'll go, you can also add these linear systems, because you can superimpose or this linear vibration systems. You can write it like, for example, if you will see, I can write two different linear vibration systems. Or you can see, if the vibration is linear, the principle of superposition holds. If in case of linear vibration system, only the principle of superposition holds. Suppose I will give one example of linear vibration system, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx will be equal to, because I will consider a post vibration system f1 of t. Okay, and in the other case I will see emx double dot plus cx dot plus kx will be equal to 2t. So this is the two different linear vibration system. Okay, because in this case if we are applying some external force, but all our vibrating components will be behave linearly. That is why it is called as a linear vibrating system. So as we have two linear vibration system, we can have, so we can apply the principle of superposition. That means the resulting equations will be bmx x double dot plus cx dot plus kx will be equal to, you can directly add these two equations, f1t plus f2t, right? So we can say in the if you can see, on the other hand, if any of the basic component of a vibrating system behave non-linearly, the vibration is called as non-linear. Suppose any of these vibrating component, suppose mass is behaving non-linearly, then this equation will not, then this principle will not valid. Okay, because this is a non-linear vibrating system. If any of the component, if suppose damper is behave non-linearly, then this equation will not hold. Okay, so this is what your linear and non-linear vibrations. Now what is the next one? Deterministic and random vibrations. Deterministic vibration and random vibration is nothing but if any of the vibrating system, the amount of external excitation is known in magnitude. Suppose we know that what is this value of external excitation, x1. We are suppose see, we are giving an external excitation x1, and we know what exactly is this value of x1. Okay, the value of x1 we know, then that is called as deterministic vibration, right? If we don't know this value of external excitation, then that is called as your or non-deterministic vibrations, or you can call it at random vibrations, right? So you can call it as deterministic vibration as if in the vibratory system the amount of external excitation is known in magnitude. The amount of external excitation is known in magnitude, then that is called as your, or it will cause deterministic vibration. Your external excitation is known to us in deterministic. Deterministic means determine. We can determine the external. We can determine the external excitation. That is why it is called as deterministic vibration. Random means we don't know what is the amount of external vibration. That is why it is called as random vibrations, right? Coming to the last classifications of your vibrations, and that is one longitudinal and transverse vibrations and torsional vibrations. Longitudinal means what? As you know that we have if one body, if this is a rectangular body, if this one is a rectangular body and you are applying a force in this direction, if you are applying in this direction, this body will try to elongate in this direction. Then that is called as your longitudinal direction, right? And whatever amount, the length will increase in the longitudinal direction and its width will decrease in the transverse direction, right? On the same example, if we'll see here, if the moment of this system is in the longitude, if you are applying a load in this direction and your movement of the body is in the same direction to the application of load, then that kind of vibration is called as your longitudinal vibration, right? Or else you can imagine like that, if this is the vibrating system, in case of longitudinal vibration system, the mass will move in this way, okay, the mass will move in this way. Or in case of transverse vibrations, we are applying a load in this direction and your movement is in the opposite to the, I mean perpendicular to the applied load direction. So we are applying a load in this direction, and in case of transverse vibrations, the you are applying a external force to the mass in this direction, but your mass will move either in this direction or in this direction. You are applying a load, you are applying an external force to this mass in this direction, but your mass movement is either in this direction or in this direction. Then that kind of vibration is called as your transverse vibration. This kind of vibration is called as your longitudinal vibrations. If this is a rotating body, and you are applying a twist, if you are applying a twist to this body with a theta angle, then that is called as your torsional vibrations, right?
So can you give one example of transverse vibration practically?
Transverse vibrations you can see, for example, in case of longitude, see, for in longitudinal vibration, if you see directly when suppose you are going with a bike, okay, and the vibrations will be whatever jerk will be you can feel directly on your seat, or if you see, or in the handle of the bike, you can see the vibrations will be directly on the seat, on the handle of your bike, okay. That because it will the ground will directly give some reaction force to the bike or to the wheel, and that will transmit to the handle of your bike. That is called as your longitudinal vibration. But in case of transverse vibrations, once you are applying a load, suppose you are moving, for example, you are moving with a train, right?
Yes, sir.
For example, consider this is a train moving, and this train will having separate bogies, right?
Yes.
But you are feeling a jerk in this part of your, or in this bogie, from the fast bogie, let us see, in the fast bogie you are feeling a jerk, okay.
Yes.
Have you observed, if the brake will be applied in this one, also it will transmit to this direction?
Yes.
I think most of you have observed this thing. I think in station, while the train will start, during the starting of the train, when it first pull the train, it will give a jerk in this direction. Those who have experienced these things, they can understand, and because it will start pulling, the engine will, once the engine will start of the train will pull the other bogies, right? In the, if you see, when the train will start, you will feel the jerk in this part also, because you are applying a load also in this part, but you are feeling a jerk in this part also, right? That is what you can see, that there will be some disturbance in this last bogie also. You can see that part. That is called transverse vibrations. You can and apply the load in this direction, but we are feeling a jerk in this direction, or the mass will move in this direction here and there also. So there are so many other examples you can see. While if you are those who are playing cricket, those who are playing cricket, suppose you are playing cricket and this is your bat, this is your bat, so, and your ball will hit in this direction, right? Your ball will hit in this direction and you are hitting the ball in this direction. Okay, the ball is moving in this direction, you are hitting the bat in this direction, but a jerk will fail. But why you are feeling the jerk in this direction? Are you feeling those who are playing with the tennis or hard cork ball, you can feel the jerk. Or also if you are playing the racket, those who are playing the tennis or that badminton, once your ball will hit here, those if you are holding here, you can feel the jerk here, because the ball is moving in this direction, but you are feeling the jerk in this direction, right? Have you observed these things practically? See, try to understand, correlate each and everything. Try to correlate each and everything so that you cannot forget these things. That is why I try to explain you in this way. Okay, so those who have observed, those who are playing badminton or tennis, you can see that thing. You can hit the cork or ball in this direction, but you are feeling a jerk in this direction to your hand. Why? The kinetic energy is transmitting to its a energy is transmitting, is hitting, and due to this collision of the ball and the racket, that there is some kinetic energy transmitting from this part to this part, but you are hitting in this direction, but energy is transmitting. That is called as your transverse vibration. You can call it as transverse vibration. Are you getting or not, Manas?
Yes, sir.
So you are getting
Yes,
this
sir.
transverse vibration.
Yes, sir.
So in case of torsional vibrations, if a any rotating component will be there, or we are giving a motion to this body, but this component will rotate in this direction. Can you give me an example? Those who are playing the, what is called, NATO, or what it is called, that
Top.
that will rotate this what NATO or what?
Lattu, sir.
Beyblade.
Lattu.
uh,
Sir. Beyblade Lattu.
Beyblade.
Okay, that thing, if we'll rotate this thing in this direction, you can see, and this will at a single point, it will be there and it will rotate in this direction. Okay, but you are applying a load, this will directly come and fall in the ground, and it will rotate. So on the same way, if you are pulling a vibratory motion, suppose consider a vibrating system is there, you are giving an initial displacement here, and it will rotate in this direction, and that kind of motion is called as your transverse vibration, right? And that kind of motion is called as your transverse vibration. So you try to correlate all the differences, what is pre vibration, what is post vibration, what is damped vibration, what is undamped vibrations, and what is your linear vibrations, and what is non-linear vibrations. Hope we are understand all these differences, right?
Sir, please draw the diagram of linear vibration, that graph. How?
Linear vibrations. Okay, just a minute. I'll share whiteboard. Let me see if I'll. You can see my whiteboard.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. What you are telling linear vibrations. See the
Yes.
first thing, linear vibrations. See here. Suppose this is the vibrating system. This is the initial condition, and this is having mass m, and we are giving an initial displacement to this mass in this direction. Okay, then we are giving an initial displacement in this direction, but this mass, once you are giving an initial displacement in this direction and left it, this mass will pull this direction, this mass will displace in this direction, but after you release, again it will try to come to its initial position, but due to its elasticity it will go to some other extent. It will go to some other extent also. Okay, that is called linear movement. Linear movement, or you can call it as this to and fro motion. This to and fro motions of this mass is called as your linear vibration, right? This is called linear vibration. So next you will see, if you will see your transverse vibration.
Sir, I'm not able to see the whiteboard.
Can anyone see this whiteboard?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
It is visible.
Visible, na?
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
maybe you have network. Maybe you have network issue, so that you cannot able to see this one. So try it. That is what I told you. Those who are operating with laptop, your network connectivity will be almost stable. If you are operating with mobile, do not disturb your mobile. Just keep it at one place so that your network will be stable. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
let us. So this is your linear vibration. If you see the same kind of system, suppose the same thing I will take this mass m, but in this case transverse vibrations will be given, but I am applying the same load in this direction, but this mass will rotate either in this direction, if the movement will be in this direction, if the movement will be in this direction or in this direction, but we are applying a load in this direction, it will move in this way. Okay, these vibrations will be transverse vibration. This is the transverse vibration, this is the linear vibration, and if we are applying a load in the same, if you are applying a load or to the same mass, but it will rotate, this way, but it will rotate in this way, and that is called as your what? Torsional vibration. Then that is called as your torsional vibration, right? This is your linear vibration, this is your torsional vibration, transverse vibration, this is your linear vibration, this is your transverse vibration, this is your torsional vibration, right?
So what is the direction of force applied in this transverse direction, this vibration?
In transverse vibration also, you see, in all the cases you are applying the load downward. Here also you are applying the load and downward, but the moment will be in the rotation. It will rotate due to some mechanism that is involved. Either a rotary movement will be here, and you are applying a load in this direction. Suppose consider a motor will be attached here. Suppose consider due to one motor is attached here, it will rotate. Once it will rotate, this mass will also rotate, but you are applying a load in this direction. Still, due to the rotation, this mass will rotate, this will having a rotary motion, right? Here also, here also, if as if you are applying a load in these linear directions, but due to some mechanism involved here, it will try to move this mass as well as this rod in this transverse direction. That is why it is called transverse. That is why I have given you that example of that rod. You should understand why it is called transverse, because you are applying a load in this direction, in the direction of load. If the changes will be there in the direction of application of load, that changes is called as longitudinal stresses. What you are applying a load in the longitudinal direction, but you are getting a deflection in the perpendicular to the longitudinal direction. This is in this direction. The deflection is in this direction. This is called as your transverse part. That is why I called. You are giving a load in this longitudinal direction, but you are getting a deflections in this transverse direction. That is why it is called as a transverse load. Are you getting or not? You are applying a load in this direction, but you are getting a torsional rotating motion due to some mechanism involved in the motor, right? That is why you are getting a torsional vibration. See, this is the concept. Because you are applying a load in the longitudinal direction, you are getting a deflection in the perpendicular directions to the longitudinal, and that is called as your transverse motion. That is why if the deflections will be in the direction of longitudinal, then that is called as a longitudinal vibration. If it is perpendicular to the direction of longitudinal direction, then that is called as a transverse vibration. If it is the moment will be perpendicular to the longitudinal direction and it is rotating, then that is called as a torsional vibration. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all about the differences between different kinds of vibrations. Now we'll see. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now you can see the different regions of vibrations. What are the different causes of vibrations? This I have already told you about this. The causes of vibration. And also I think I have told you about how to avoid this vibration, right? The 4 different points. This removing of external excitations if possible, and using a shock absorber, using dynamic absorber, resting the system in proper vibration isolator. So these are the things that we have already discussed. So I think we have taken more than 1 hour. So let us stop, and next class we can discuss a few more things on this chapter. So how this vibrations analysis can be done. So I hope till now we have discussed the history of vibrations, the introductions to vibrations, what is the importance of vibrations, what are the different regions of vibrations, and different classifications of vibrations, how to avoid the vibrations, what are the different parts of vibrations, right? All these things, the basic things we have almost discussed within these 2 classes. We have discussed. From next class onwards, we will try to derive the equations, because as I have told you, so this vibrations is mostly this vibration is what is the whiteboard? Just I will give you So before winding off the session, just I will give you few things. How actually this vibration is working. Okay, what throughout the vibrations we are only, keep it in your mind that we are only moving with these 4 different points, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Saurabh Kumar Raut, what is going on?
Yes, sir.
Keep yourself mute. So see, throughout your vibration we are only dealing with these 4 things. So what are the 4 things? First thing, as I have already told you, in mechanical vibration we are converting the physical system into a mathematical form. So first step is to our mathematical modeling. Mathematical modeling of any physical system. Your first step, see, this vibration is all about mathematical things. So complete vibration is dealing with only problems. Okay, so first thing, we are converting a physical system into a mathematical form. Once we are converting that physical system into a mathematical form, what will be your next step? Next step will be your, I told you to solve that, to go that mathematical form into derivations or derivation of governing equations. So whatever mathematical form you are getting, that mathematical form is to be derived in governing equations. How you will derive these equations? You have to derive that mathematical form in derivation equation. And how we are going to solve? You have 3 different methods to solve or to get the solution of this derivation or governing equations. You will have to form a governing equation out of this mathematical form, and that governing equation has to be solved or solution of the equation. Solution of the which equation? Solution of the governing equation. Once you will have to form a mathematical form, then you will have to form the governing equation from that mathematical form, and that governing equation is to be solved using 3 different techniques. What are the 3 different techniques? That 3 different techniques can be either your what is that? That 3 different techniques can be either Newton's second law method, and another one will be your what is that? D'Alembert's principle, and third one will be your conservation of energy. These 3 things I have given you. As a prerequisite notes. You can go through it. That is why I told you, go through the Newton's second law, go through the new D'Alembert's principle, go through the conservation of energy principle. The solutions of these governing equations can be solved by using 3 different techniques. That is called Newton's second law, D'Alembert's principle, conservation of energy. That is why before starting of the class, I have given you that notes to go through all these things. So I hope now I am considering all of you are acquainted with Newton's second law, D'Alembert's, and this conservation of energy principle. Using that 3 different rules, we are going to solve the governing equation. And once you are are getting the solution of this governing equation, then we can interpret. Or interpretation. Then you can interpretation. What is that? Interpretation of results. Handwriting is very poor, so you can understand. At least you try to get all these things. Okay, so throughout these vibrations we are only dealing with these four things, right? What is that? Mathematical modeling, derivations of governing equations, solution of this governing equations, and your interpretation of the results, right? So next class onwards we'll try to discuss in details what exactly this mathematical modeling, what is this derivations of governing equation, what is the solution of this equation, what is this interpretation of the results is all about, right? So keep it in your mind that throughout these vibrations we are only dealing with these four steps. You can call it as steps of vibration, steps of vibration analysis. You can call it as steps of vibration analysis. So you can analyze all your vibration problem by using four different steps. I hope you are getting all these things. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is what I mean to say is that go through the details what we have discussed, and at least go through that prerequisites that I have shared, so that you can able to better understand all these things. If you are not understanding, go to that videos, as I have already recorded all these things. Okay, as I have recorded all these things, so you can learn all these things, and at least see these two class is very important from the basic concept point of view. If you are not understanding this, whatever things I have taught you or we have discussed during these two class, you just read it. As I have already shared you one book. If you are not still able to understand, then ask me, so that in future to understand this subject you should not get any problem, because this is the basic things of this mechanical vibrations. Again we are going for another discussion, further discussion based on this concept only. Okay, so whatever concept we have, mostly if you see, whatever throughout these vibrations we are only dealing with only that 9 or 10 classification of vibration, whatever we have discussed, that things we are going to discuss throughout your vibration. So that is what I mean to say, is that all of you should go through the videos or the class notes, whatever we have written, or the books for these two classes, so that it will be understand. So you will better understand all these things, right? If any one of you have any doubts, still you can ask in this whatever we have discussed today. Yes, anyone? Or we can wind up the sessions. And when will be your next class?
Tomorrow is there, mechanical vibration.
Tomorrow there, na? So tomorrow second half, can we take that class? Or second half you are having any other engagement?
The second half we are having class.
Second half, what you are having class?
We,
Second half you are having only one class, right? Second half you are having only
Yes,
one
sir.
class, I think. Second half I think you have only one class, I think. Oh, second half tomorrow is Tuesday, right? Manas?
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow is
Yes,
Tuesday, so I don't think there will be any class. Comprehensive Viva is there,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
So we can continue in the second half, because first half we have 9 to 10 class and 10:30 to 11:30 you have class.
Yes, sir.
So you have enough time to 12 to 4 or 11:30 to 2. You have enough time, so we can continue our class. Or we can continue our discussion from the second half tomorrow, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
yes.
So tomorrow our class will be at 2 or
Yeah.
1.
2 or 2:30. I'll schedule it. You just follow. You always try to follow this vibration class post. Okay. If anything will be there, then and I'll share it on the your vibration class post. Okay. And I hope tomorrow you all come up with your class notebook. I want to see your class notebook,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
See, those I think in the initial class, in the starting of the class, those who are absent, once again I told you how to prepare your class notebook. Go to your vibration class. Go to your. You can see my screen now.
No, sir. No, sir.
You are able to see my screen.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. I just see. Now, can you able to see?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Oh, sharing is paused. Why it is sharing is
No,
paused?
sir.
Okay, okay. Wait. Now I think you can see my screen,
Yes.
Yep.
right? See, so I think in the starting of the class we have discussed, those who have not present during that time, I told you to prepare your own class notebook. Okay. For example, all of you have already there in the class, in the vibration class. So you have that. Suppose, for example, for Avijit Sahu, I told you, Avijit Sahu, you have your own class notes. Okay. Hand note, homework. Okay. So you can go to your class notes. You can go to your class notes. You can go to your quizzes. If any quiz is there, class notes, handouts. See, homework, everything you can prepare here. So I hope all of you go to your respective class notes. Okay, and prepare your what you learned in lecture 1, right, or lecture 2. Lecture 1, what you have learned, write down here. These things, these things cannot, Avijit Sahu, whatever you will written in this class note, it cannot, no, either Avinash Sahu or Ajay or anyone cannot be seen your lecture note, right? These things I can only access whatever class notes you are preparing, right? And handout also you can do, and homework also you can do here. For homework, what I have given you, I have given you to prepare that at what history of vibrations. You can upload here. You can draw, insert home, and upload your own documents here also. Again, through using file, you can upload your own document here, right? So in this way, all of you, how many of you are there? You can prepare your own slide, right? Akash is also there, so you can prepare your own class notes, and you can write your own lecture 1 what you have learned, lecture 2 what you have learned, all these things. I can tomorrow I should check all of you what you have done, because these things I can access what you have written in your class notes, but none of you can see none of your class notes, but I can see. Yeah, are you able to get Manas?
Yes,
Manas,
sir.
you are asking me, sir, where to upload that where to upload that
I got, sir.
you got it, na? So in your homework you can upload that your own documents what you have done, right?
Yes, sir.
So you try to do all these things, all your classes. Also you can do your lecture 1 what you have learned, you can write it. Lecture 2 what you have learned, you can write it. So for in this way you can write throughout what you have learned, so that I will give you marks on this basis, right? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I hope we are done for this lecture, and okay then, and if you have any questions on this discussion for today, you can ask me, or else we can wind up the sessions, right? Yes, anyone? All of you are raising hands, but none of you are asking questions. Okay, so I hope all of you are getting what I have discussed, and from tomorrow I will see you on this. I will see all your class notebook. Okay. Okay. Till then. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then we should stop today. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. नोटबुक बना दे भाई।